A lot of physicality in your game tonight. I mean, how much of that is what you're trying to show this coaching staff right now?
I mean, I just trying to show that I'm willing to play hard to play, and I know the hockey is and the NHL is pretty hard, so trying to get used to that and use my body as much as possible.
I feel like both times shooting one off a pass from Axel. First power play.
Yeah, that was nice.
Did you guys get a lot of power play time together last year?
Me and Axel? Yeah, I would say that, yeah.
Mostly veteran lineup tonight for the Wings. How did you feel playing out there with those guys and just the speed of the overall game itself?
I mean, I like it. It's cool to just see how they are on the ice and on the bench too, just trying to learn as much as possible and hopefully trying to be like those guys someday.
What are you learning from them throughout camp and preseason so far? Anything stick out to you?
Just how professional they are with everything and just trying to see how they behave and stuff like that.
Where do you see the most improvement in yourself over the past year?
I'm not sure. Ask the coaches. I don't know. I just try to work on everything.
Do you feel more confident out there? Or?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I were here last year, so I have a little expectation, or what do you call it?
Experience?
Yeah, thank you. Of last year, so a little more confident this year, yeah.
You seem to be someone that adapts to things quickly. Like you learn fast and you figure things out. Has that always kind of been your nature?
I feel like I've just been used to it because I moved to Sweden when I was young, 16, and then I played there 2 years, and then a new team, and then here last year, and then back to the new team again, and then GR, and then here. So I feel like I'm just used to it, but I mean, just trying to play my best every time.
Played Czech 2 years ago, right? And then jumped to when you kind of look at that kind of career progress, how do you kind of look at it?
I think it's a fast progress for me, but I would say I'm happy and I need to continue in this work and to be better and better every day.
Even though it was a preseason game, did you feel like you got a lot of confidence by playing this game or winning?
I don't think I'm thinking about it's preseason or full season. I try on 100% every game. So I would say I'm happy it works well today and need to continue.
In the shootout, I noticed you really get out on the white ice and challenge the shooters. Has that always been your nature to do it that way?
Hard question. I try just focus what they do. They coming slowly to me, and in two shoots I have lucky. I know, but that's what I need in goal. So I'm happy with that.
How much experience do you have on the smaller ice?
I still with that. It's a little bit different, but I need to work on small things in the net. So it maybe looks more different, but I don't feel it. But I need to change small things and working on it.
How is it different for a goalie playing on this ice compared to the European ice?
Of course it's smaller, faster, so it's a little bit different, but I would say I try to focus on it and train on small things.
Did you say Postava or?
Michal. MBN.
MBN, Brandsegg-Nygård. I'm still trying to figure out names. I know all their nicknames, and then I get in here and you guys start using the names, and I'm going, who the heck is that? I think it's real important for us to see him, for him to experience life in this environment. Part of camp is learning learning and understanding how players react to different situations, how they tick, the amount of information they can take in, and in turn they're learning a little bit about us. How are we going to react when they make a mistake? How, what our practice is going to be like, and to provide a little bit of comfort in that while they're here, that's really important, and he's played very well.
And Sandin Pellick, does it stand out how well he handles the puck? I know the opposing lineups aren't,
Well, there's a lot of NHL players on those teams. It's a smaller rink. There's likely more size than he's faced. So there's a lot of factors that come into play, and he seems to be getting better as it goes along. Incredible vision on the blue line and really deception. The ability to hold and then release the puck. I don't think anybody, including his teammates, know if he's going to shoot or to pass it, which is a real good thing. So, yeah, we're just anxiously watching him get better night after night. He's starting to adapt.
I know the circumstances in preseason are always pretty variable, but to see your guys put up 40 shots the first 2 nights, what does that tell you about kind of where they're at with that gas pedal idea you've talked about?
They were, again, a real good hunting mentality, that the tenacity from one job to the next was evident, I thought. It wasn't go do some work here and then kind of casually come out of it and be done. And I thought we were connected on the ice, 5 guys working together with a plan. So that was good to see. Again, two different teams, 2 different nights. We saw it, so hopefully they're picking up that concept.
And then Andrew Kopp helped create a couple goals right at the goal mouth. How important is it for you guys to get a little more production in that area of the ice?
Well, we talked about Kopp and Comfer and the importance that they'll have to play on this team, and we're pushing both of them. I thought Kopp had a real good game tonight. Went to the paint, scored around there. He doesn't have to score from distance. He's a big man with good hands in and around that area, and we've got to score more as a team there, and he may as well lead the way.
Hey, Todd, as far as Mo Seider, where do you want to see growth in his game, or where can he grow or expand his game or whatnot?
Well, you know, when you ask that question, you're almost asking, you know, or I don't know if you are, but maybe insinuating he's the complete package. He isn't yet. He's got a lot to work on, yet he's a real good player. And, you know, his physicality, his durability, his engine are all elite. Sometimes some of his reads. I think he's got an incredible shot when it hits the net. He could have scored a goal tonight. He had a wide open net. You know, I think that puck placement off a shot's really important, especially if you're running the power play. And, you know, that's an area he can improve on. But if you're asking me, I think it's just the overall game. He's still a young player.
People tend to forget that. You talked about Raymond in that way, too. These guys are still young players.
You come in at a young age and you make the team, and all of a sudden you're 3 years in and everybody thinks you're 29. You're not. You're still fairly youthful with some experience. So that's a tremendous thing. Your runway to continue to learn is long.
Todd, you guys kept the shots down, but Postava looked pretty poised for his first game against NHL.
Yeah, he was excited. He was really excited about getting in there. You could kind of feel it and see it. And I thought when he first went in, that net was about 6 feet wide. He was even going to stop pucks that were going wide. He was so anxious to get going, and then he really settled in, made some really good saves. Shootout, you know, he's got to be anxious in that situation. Brand new for him, but he's had a really good training camp, and we're We're excited to see what type of year he's going to have.
You know, one thing I noticed when you talk about the shootout, he really gets out on that white ice and forces the shooter to make a decision. He doesn't just sit back and let them come to him.
He took a lot of ice. I didn't know what we would get, or you know what his style or attack mentality would be, but he did take a lot of ice and forced them into tough situations.
And the guy I want to ask you about it. We've talked to some NHL scouts, and they've said that the sleeper that you guys might have got that nobody talks about is Docker. They think he can do a lot of things.
Bernard Docker. Yeah. I actually have a little bit of a history, because when my son was playing college, I got to go watch him play, and Bernard Docker played in North Dakota, so I got to see him play a lot, whether it was on video or on TV and or live. And you know, I think his development's been good. Sometimes it's hard to crack the roster with your first team, and you learn lessons along the way, and there's a lot of players that blossom as they move on. They've learned the lessons. They know what they can get away with and what they can't. He knows who he is now as a player, and we're hoping to capitalize on that. But I think a lot of people that I've talked to around the hockey world also say really good things about him. So we've seen them so far. Let's keep them going and see where this all ends up.
Just a quick call on Postava. Is it fair to say he kind of earned the preseason game with his camp so far? Like, was that something coming in that maybe you would have had on paper for him to get into a game?
We wanted to see him.
Okay.
He has had a good camp,
Yeah.
and we wanted to see him in live action, not against our players, but in a game situation. And we'll likely see him again a little bit more too.
When it comes to the shootout in the preseason, is that you and a Lindy conversation? Is that management? Where does
Well,
that
the
come
home
from?
team
Yeah.
decides that. You know, teams almost always did it, and then sometimes your shooters are giving away their bag of tricks. There's becoming a book on the shooters. Some of the guys we used tonight, you know, we wanted to see the goaltender, and we probably, if we were in regular season, would have went with some other players. But it's good to see what could be coming or what may already be here as far as shootout guys.
And then last one for me with your team, and you kind of see, you talk about the shot first mentality, you talk about defensemen getting in. It seems like there's been a lot of, it's 2 preseason games, but there's been a lot of really good covering by your forwards when your D jump in, and when you kind of look at kind of the connectivity between that, what have you seen so far both in these games and then through camp when it comes to the forwards allowing the D to do that?
Yeah, well, one of the areas of the game that we've worked on in Traverse City was forecheck, and in my opinion, forecheck isn't just this way to the end boards. It starts coming back too, and once you reload and you start working back, your D can be aggressive playing up. If you're not committed to that, they're going to bail out all the time, and so far we've been committed to that, and that's where I say connected. There's 2 coming forward, 3 coming back. There's a crowd there, and yeah, that's what we're working on.
With regard to Michael, he's certainly a more physical player, but on his release tonight on his power play goal, he kind of looked almost like a 30-goal scorer. Is his shot maybe kind of a more sneaky part of his game?
You know, but the information I've received is that he's a hell of a shooter. And I watched the one playoff game in Grand Rapids last year, and I thought he set himself up to shoot all the time. If somebody gets him the puck, he's ready to shoot it. So I think that's a big part of his game. He has that heaviness and all those other things, but for me, the shot's not a surprise. It should be there because I've been told it and I've witnessed it.
And then Emmett Finney came literally within an inch of scoring another goal. It would have been a highlight reel had it gone in. How did you feel about his overall game tonight?
You know, we've talked about him a lot lately. My opinion hasn't changed. I thought he was a factor. Both sides of the puck. I thought his pace fit well with Larkin and Raymond. Pretty trusting player. You know, it's not just about going out and trying to score a goal. He plays the game with an awareness of what's going on around him, the score. You know, very mature. So good night for him. Good night.